Bum, 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 bum. Hey Star Wars fans, it's your old friend Dominic Tringali here with another one of my exciting Star Wars Build the Millennium Falcon kit issues. This one is issue 41 of 100. You know the drill. Every week I get a number of pieces that I use to assemble a one-for-one prop replica of the Millennium Falcon model used in the filming of The Empire Strikes Back. Each issue is about €10.99. All said and done right now with how much money I've invested, I've brought the grand total up to €432.11, not counting glue and whatnot, so I'll have to finally get a tally going at some point. Let's jump right into this. So the first one, we have more about the Jedi Starfighter, this time the ETA-2 Actus class interceptor. Towards the end of the Clone Wars, the Jedi replaced their Delta 7 starfighters with the shorter, sleeker ETA-2 Actus class interceptors, blah, 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 blah. So it was also, the only interesting thing in my opinion is that these would become the basis for the TIE fighters. Obviously Jedis tend to have higher reflexes, so they would make amazing fighter pilots. This shot of Anakin. I honestly think that Obi-Wan wasn't blowing smoke up Luke's ass when he said that your father was the greatest star pilot I've ever seen. I imagine Anakin probably was probably the best starfighter that the Jedis had, and probably in all of the Republic Army. Then we have this whole readout about the Naboo underwater world, and of course the cities of the Gungans, talking about how they sustain their world. I mean, these articles, guys. I mean, unless you're really into the minutia, there's not much here. They're a fun read. I read them when I'm on the toilet. I'm not gonna lie. Then we talk about the YT-1300 fuel system. How volatile it is, explosive, blah blah blah, how it breaks down, fuel storage and distribution. I mean, I don't know. You're getting really into the nitty gritty, but some people really like that. So I'm not gonna harp on them for that. If that's what you're into, that's what you're into. So on and so forth. This week I'm going to be assembling the parts I need to put together one control platform for the quad turrets that we actually started assembling way back in issue number 1. So let me go ahead and grab bag number 41 and we can take a look at what's inside. So here's bag number 41, right, kind of a small bag. I'm going to go ahead and tear this open and lay out the pieces and show you what comes inside. Alright, so going biggest to smallest as usual, we have another piece of hull plating. I've now, if I haven't mentioned earlier, I finally figured out what's with these pieces that seem to have no detail, is that other pieces get stacked on top of them, thus creating a fully, three-dimensional hull plating with depth and imperfections. So even though there's no detail in this particular section right here, something will go in that spot, and so it'll look good when it's all finished. These little plates, these will be actually magnetized, and I'll be able to remove these to show kind of technical parts of the Millennium Falcon. Those will all get put to the side. Not really important for today. What is important are these pieces right here. We have this top collar, these pieces that form obviously together to go attached to this, a lighting piece, some adhesives that are going to, let me see if I can pull those in, some adhesives that are going to be applied to the inside of this thing, and it looks like some sort of slugs or lugs that I'll be saving. These are the magnets actually that I'll be using eventually with those plates I showed you earlier. So I'm going to go ahead and grab the sprue that I got in the last issue. and we're going to go ahead and start assembling all this stuff as the stage 41 instructions have indicated. Great. So here's the sprue that came in issue number 40, and over here is a diagram of what each piece actually represents. Here's a nice cutaway of how it's all supposed to line up inside. So I'm going to go ahead and start following the instructions. Everything's marked here. You can see what each piece is supposed to be. So the first part, I'm going to have to glue the seat cushion to the rectangular mount on the platform, noting which way it goes round. So great, let me go ahead and do that and show you what it looks like when I've glued those together. Okay, so after step one, this is what I have. The next step is to actually glue this seat into the position that you would assume it would go into, because it's a seat. It actually needs to go like that though. And then after that, I'll show you what it looks like when it's all in place. Great. Alright, so that's what it looks like when it's a seat. Very exciting, I know. The next step is to glue this framing into the back of this. There's some holes that's been indicated. You can kind of see them out right there and right there. There's 4 holes in all. So I use those as guide points to actually glue in this little flimsy piece right here. Be super careful when you're cutting this out of the sprue. I was very lucky not to break it, but it will break on you if you're not too careful. Alright, take care. So now I have the back rear support in place. It looks like that. The next step is to take this piece right here and glue it into this tiny little hole you see in the center of your screen, in the middle of the actual seat. So I'll go ahead and do that and show you what it looks like when it's in place. Great. Okay, so now that that's in place, the next piece, we're going to be putting this control mount into that other big square hole in front, attaching it to the base and to the yoke control arm. And so I'm going to go ahead and do that and show you what it looks like after the transformation is complete. Great, that brings us up through now through step 5 onto step 6, which is to take this targeting computer arm and put it in the dot right there, and this the big one in the center. And so I'll go ahead and do that and show you what it looks like when I've completed step 6. So after step 6, this is what I am left with, and the next step is to take this tiny little insignificant little piece right here and glue it into place here. I actually really wish I might have thought twice about this and went ahead and painted this whole cockpit. It would have given the model maybe a little extra, that little extra oomph. I know it's not a major thing, but it would have been nice. It would have stood out a little bit better, I think. But you live and you learn. Maybe I'll put this one on the bottom and paint the top one. I'm not sure. So we'll figure that one out when we get there. So my advice though is maybe you might consider actually painting these pieces when they're on the sprue and then assembling them after. Just a thought. Alright, so let me go ahead and glue this last piece in here, and then I'll go to the foot pedals, and I'll just be about done on this. Great. So the next awesome step with all these small little pieces is to try to glue these foot pedals into place, and then the chair part will be done, and the last thing to do is to actually put it all on a platform. So let's go ahead and do step 7, step 8, and then talk about step 9, which will finish off the actual gun control platform. Great. So I went ahead and put the foot pedals on. I highly recommend that you use tweezers when putting these on. It's a bit of a hassle, otherwise they're very small and easily lost. And I went ahead and glued the base on as well. So that completes the entire stage assembly for the gun control platform. I'll be doing this again, I guess, at another point for the other turret. The next part is actually assembling the turret well. So let me go ahead and take a look at that and see where I'm going with it. Okay, great. So for the assembly of the turret well, I've taken the 2 halves and I've lined up the adhesive stickers as indicated. the first step is going to be to take the adhesive off this back and to stick it along this edge right here, going all the way to the bottom, lining up the edge to here and leaving a little bit of a space towards the top. So I'll go ahead and do that and show you what it looks like when I'm all finished. So you can see the adhesive is now in place. The next step is to take this one right here and do the same, making sure to line up the edge along this back edge and along the natural curvature of the turret. So I'll go ahead and do that and show you what it looks like when I've completed one half. So there is one half complete. Now I'm just going to complete the process on the other half, and then I should be able to be ready to actually put the LED light in. So let's go ahead and do that and show you what it looks like when I have two halves completed. So this is what they look like when they're finished. So one half has these receiving ports and one half has tabs to go into the receiving ports. So here is the LED, and so what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually have to line this up flat. They recommend using model putty, but I see no reason to buy modeling putty for this particular step when I can do it myself with just some steady hands. So I'm going to go ahead and put a couple drops of glue into the 5 receiving spots, and then I'm going to lay it all together and seal it up and show you what it looks like when I'm all finished. So here it is, all set together. Didn't need that modeling clay after all, haha. So on this ring here there's a tab, and on this there's also a tab. I don't know if you can, let me see if I can try to pull it. You want to line those up, apply some glue onto the ring and line those up, and that's pretty much it through to step 11. So I'm going to go ahead and do that and show you what it looks like when I've assembled almost all the turret well and I'm ready to put the control platform into place. So there we go, that's what it looks like now. So the next step is to go ahead and put the seat, the control platform seat into place and then screw it in together with one of these bad boys, the same screws that we used to put the holes on. So let's go ahead and try that off and see what it all looks like when we're finished with assembly stage 41. So it's all finished, the screw's in place. To be honest with you, I have no idea why they asked me to use a screw. I mean, I think glue would have been just as good, if not maybe even better. I can't wait to actually light this up and see how it lights up, but for now that's all finished. So that brings stage 41 to a completion. Awesome. So since stage 41 was so short and simple, I'm going to go ahead and assemble finally this optional cockpit. The instructions for the cockpit shell don't mention anything about putting in the glaze yet, but I'm just going to put them in anyway. One thing I was kind of pissed off about is that this one has a scratch. I don't know if you can really see it, but trust me, it's there. And yeah, you can kind of see it right there. You can see it by my finger. It's got a break in the glazing, so that kind of pisses me off. I'm not going to worry about it. Supposedly, replacement glazing for the original cockpit front is going to come in issue 46, so I'll worry about that when I get there. I'm just going to put this all together. It's all fairly straightforward. Yeah, the instructions don't mention anything about glue, but to be honest with you, I'm just going to glue this son of a bitch. I don't care. Not the glazing, because with super glue, it'll tend to leave kind of a residue behind. So I'm going to go ahead and just try to glue this all together and then put the glazing in afterwards. So here are the two pieces side by side. This one is the replacement nose cone, and this is the original nose cone. The only difference really is that this comes in two pieces and I haven't glued it together. That's why it's coming apart. This one I have glued together. The paneling is just pushed into place, fits tight. You can kind of see the crack a little bit better. That really pissed me off a little bit, but I digress. It's over now. I will be getting paneling to put in issue 46 for this one, and then hopefully it'll have no cracks. I thought, what's the difference? Somehow these don't fit in. These panels don't fit in here. I'm not quite sure why. It seems in all, if there is any difference, it's very minuscule. Can't quite figure out any big difference. So I'll figure out which one I like better, and that's one I'll settle on. The other I'll hold on to for nostalgia's sake, I guess. Or just replacement in case I ever need another front end. So great, that's pretty much it for today. I got those pieces finished. Let's talk about what's happening with issue 42. So issue 42, I'll be getting another one of these recessed areas that need to be done up with the other one. I actually still haven't done the other one, so we'll have to do both of those at the same time. So I'll probably do that both actually in one step. But I might skip over that for now and actually do the issue 43 steps, which have me attaching those magnet plating to the hull plates that I talked about today. So I'll probably do issues 42 and issues 43 in tandem, but I'll only really be doing the magnetizing of those plates. And then within the video after that, I'll actually probably try painting the recessed areas and getting those all assembled so that we can get ready for the eventual assembly of this bad boy. Guys, talking about the Gungan cities of Naboo kind of got me thinking about it for a second. What are your thoughts on the Gungans? I think next to the Ewoks, they're probably one of the most hated races out there. People just probably think that they're just the dumbest slapstick race that you could have imagined. I know I've heard various things about George Lucas, how he loved them, how he hated them. I heard more that he loved Jar Jar, thought Jar Jar was absolute gold. So my opinion is kind of in the middle. I take them or leave them. I really don't care. I definitely found them kind of being an offensive stereotype for Jamaicans, but that's already been discussed in an issue where they talked about how the races are all kind of stereotypes of existing human races on Earth. So just want to get your thoughts. Guys, go ahead and click that like button. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already so that you don't miss any of our upcoming issue videos. Also make sure to check out the backlog of previous issues if you have any questions about how we got to where we are now. Guys, take care and may the Force be with you.